Hey, welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. It is September 18th. We're in chapter 9 of The Art of War, verse 5. If you are anxious to fight, you should not go to meet the invader near a river which he has to cross. Let's hop on over to the alternate translation real quick and see. They are combining a couple of verses together, and so shall we. When you want to fight, do not face an enemy near water. Watch the light, stay in high places, do not face the current of the water. This applies to an army on water. So, going into to repeat 5. If you are anxious to fight, you should not go to meet the invader near a river which he has to cross. 6. Moor your craft higher up than the enemy and facing the sun. Do not move upstream to meet the enemy. So much for river warfare. GLN reflects, in a river basin, your armies can be flooded out and poison can be put into the streams. Facing the current means heading against the flow. Dumu says it also means your boats should not be moored downstream, lest the enemy ride the current right over to you. So it seems like river warfare is it's just not good. If your army is not ready for the river warfare, stay in the high places and don't go against the wind, essentially. So let's hop on over to the Daily Stoic, September 18th, and see what wisdom we can cross over and glean from this reading. September 18th, out of the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. Dealing with pain. Whenever you suffer pain, keep in mind that it's nothing to be ashamed of and that it can't degrade your guiding intelligence, nor keep it from acting rationally and for the common good. And in most cases, you should be helped by the saying of Epicurus that pain is never unbearable or unending. So you can remember these limits and not add to them in your imagination. Remember, too, that many common annoyances are pain in disguise, such as sleepiness, fever, and loss of appetite. When they start to get you down, tell yourself you are giving in to pain. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 7.64. In 1931, on a trip to New York City, Winston Churchill was struck crossing the street by a car going more than 30 miles an hour. The witness at the scene was sure that he had been killed. He would spend some 8 days in the hospital with cracked ribs and a severe head wound. Churchill somehow retained consciousness. When he spoke to the police, he went to great lengths to insist that he was completely to blame and wanted no harm to come to the driver. Later, the driver came to visit Churchill at the hospital. When Churchill heard that the driver was out of work, he tried to offer him, the man who had nearly killed him, some money. More than in his own pain, he was worried that the publicity from the accident would hurt the man's job prospects and sought to help how he could. Nature is merciful, he later wrote in a newspaper article about the experience. It does not try her children, man or beast, beyond their compass. It is only where the cruelty of man intervenes that hellish torments appear. For the rest, live dangerously, take things as they come, dread not, all will be well. In the years to come, Churchill and the world would witness some of the most hellish torments that man could admit. Yet, he, along with many of our ancestors, endured that pain as well. As horrible as it was, eventually all would be well again, because like Epicurus says, nothing is unending. You just need to be strong and gracious enough to get through it. I would say that if you find yourself fighting upstream and you are in hell and the enemy is poisoning you, you need to fight for the high ground and you need to take into account some of the other principles. Um, putting people in that position and that sort of thing. So that's all I can think of as far as that goes. That was a huge meditation from Marcus. As far as pain goes, pain is never unbearable or unending. So you can remember these limits and not add to them in your imagination. That's the other thing that I wanted to go back to, that I had the flash thought of as we were reading through it, right? So, like, don't add to the pain, especially regarding like the very first verse. If you are anxious to fight, you should not go meet the invader near the river which he has to cross. So, like, if you're already in pain, don't add to it. just like Sun Tzu says, the same tenet holds true whether you're thinking about river warfare or stoicism. And keep standing tall. We'll see you guys on the next one.